Hello and good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10 with me, Mohammed Amin Carlos. Well, the government has taken note and will take follow-up actions based on the federal constitution and national laws in upholding the views of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Ri'ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah, as stated in the statement issued by Istana Negara yesterday. Well, the Prime Minister's office, in a statement today, said during the audience with the King earlier, the Prime Minister has briefed and advised His Majesty on COVID-19 pandemic management. Well, the Premier also briefed the King on the enforcement of the emergency ordinance, the implementation of the national COVID-19 immunization program, economic stimulus packages and financial aid to the people, the reconvening of Parliament, the National Recovery Plan and other related matters. Now, the statement said, upholding the view of His Majesty, the government will take follow-up measures based on the federal constitution and national laws. Well, yesterday, Sultan Abdullah expressed his opinion that Parliament should be reconvened as soon as possible and that the vaccination program must be stepped up by reducing bureaucracy so that the target of inoculating 80% of Malaysia's population to achieve herd immunity could be done as quickly as possible. In the Istana Negara statement, the King expressed the views after weighing the positions of all political party leaders, the Independent Special Committee on Emergency 2021, as well as briefings by experts and government agencies. He said His Majesty also expressed hope that the COVID-19 infection curve can be flattened quickly and viewed that vaccination was the only exit strategy to contain the pandemic. Meanwhile, International Trade and Industry Minister Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali, while the King's call for Parliament to sit as soon as possible is in line with the federal government's intentions.
Jadi, bagi saya, kita yang di-Pertuan Agong juga adalah selari dengan hasrat kerajaan untuk mengadakan sidang Parlimen dalam masa yang sesuai supaya proses demokrasi ini akan terus disuburkan.
He said this during a press conference following his visit to the Bukit Jawi Golf Resort COVID-19 Vaccination Centre, or PBV, under program Imunisasi Industri COVID-19 Kerjasama Awam Swasta, also known as PIKAS. Well, he said the Prime Minister had acted based on the Standing Order and Federal Constitution. Datuk Seri Azmin was responding to the announcement by Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Abdullah Ri'ayatuddin Al-Mustafa Billah Shah yesterday that Parliament should be allowed to reconvene as soon as possible to enable proper discussion of the emergency ordinance and Malaysia's COVID-19 recovery plan. Well, some 1.2 million people in Kelantan will complete their COVID-19 vaccination by October this year. Well, COVID-19 National Immunization Program, PICK, Coordinating Minister Khairi Jamaluddin said this was based on the success of the state-level program organized by the state government. He said he was able to see good and positive impacts from the implementation of the program at state level. Khairi said the vaccination rate given to the people increased from day to day and can even reach 12,000 doses in a day.
Dengan semua kapasiti ini, saya percaya dan yakin bahawa insyaAllah kalau bekalan vaksin itu sampai, kita akan dapat selesai suntik populasi dewasa di negeri Kelantan ni lah. Kita letak sasaran yang ambitious sikit, mungkin Oktober, ya. Oktober. Kita cuba Oktober di Kelantan dengan kerjasama dan kepimpinan Yang Makmur Menteri Besar.
He said this in a press conference after a briefing on the latest state-level PICK updates in Kota Baru today. Also present were Kelantan Menteri Besar Dato' Ahmad Yaakob, State Government Health and Housing Committee Chairman Dr. Izani Hussein and State Health Director Dato' Dr. Zaini Hussein. Khairi said he was also informed that 40% of adults in the state have registered for COVID-19 vaccination. The daily vaccination tally of the National COVID-19 Immunization Program showed a positive trend as it continued to surpass the target of 200,000 doses per day, with another 204,839 doses administered yesterday. While Health Minister Dato Sri Dr. Atem Baba in his tweet said 196,775 individuals received their first dose of the vaccine yesterday, while 8,064 others the second dose. Elaborating further, Dato Sri Dr. Atem said a total of 1,476,753 individuals had completed both doses of the vaccine, and 3,632,195 individuals had received the first dose, bringing the number of doses administered in the country so far to 5,108,948. Well, 5 states with the highest number of fully vaccinated individuals are Selangor with 188,497 doses, followed by Sarawak with 169,172, Johor 143,268, Perak 139,623, and Kuala Lumpur 132,417. A total of 215,876 doses of the COVID-19 vaccine was dispensed on Tuesday, surpassing the 200,000 daily target set by the government under the immunization program. Well, meanwhile, according to the daily report on the cumulative number of vaccine registrations on its website page, a total of 14,637,437 individuals have registered for the vaccination as of yesterday. Well, new COVID-19 vaccine cases in Malaysia COVID-19 cases in Malaysia continue to remain within the 5,000 case range, with 5,738 new infections reported over the last 24 hours. Well, Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham Abdullah revealed Selangor remains the state with the highest number of new cases with 1,858, followed by Negeri Sembilan with 1,086 cases and Kuala Lumpur with 641. Now, in the same 24-hour window, Sarawak reported 559 new cases, Johor 449 and Sabah 241. Perlis was the only state with 0 cases. And of today's new cases, 1,399 are from existing clusters, 2,761 from close contacts of positive cases, 3 are imported cases, and 1,575 cases listed as sporadic infections. The country's latest cumulative case count now stands at 678,764 infections, with 66,097 currently active. Tan Sri Dr. Noor Hisham also said there were 60 more people who died of COVID-19 over the last 24 hours, which meant the country's total death count is now at 4,202, representing a 0.62% fatality rate. The number of patients admitted to intensive care units or ICU nationwide, meanwhile, dropped slightly to 909, down from 924 the day before, and 441 are currently intubated, down from 453 yesterday. The health DG noted that over the same period, 7,530 more patients were cured and discharged, bringing the cumulative discharge count to 608,465 cases with a recovery rate of 89.6%. His statement also reported 25 new COVID-19 infection clusters, 19 of which were workplace-related clusters, mainly in Selangor, Johor, Kedah, Pulau Pinang, and 1 each in Sarawak and Negeri Sembilan. 3 new clusters were from community infections and 1 detected at a private education institution. Well, after more than a year since COVID-19 affected our nation, well, surely by now, the citizens should be more than aware of the importance of wearing face masks, as advised by the Ministry of Health, the MOH, to help break the chain of infection of the deadly virus. Undoubtedly, there are some people who still refuse to follow the SOP despite countless advice and awareness campaigns from the authorities. Well, to further delve in the issue, let's take a look at what Erwin Zaidi from RTM Johor has for us.
Among the SOPs provided by the MOH in preventing the spread of the COVID-19 pandemic is by regularly wearing face masks, which plays a major role in ensuring that the virus do not spread easily from one person to another. However, from our observations at various locations in Johor Bahru, we found out that there are still some stubborn individuals who still refuse to wear face masks, and even if they do, they were not wearing it properly. Medical Officer of KPJ Bandar Maharani Specialist Hospital, Dr. Siti Rasida Ibrahim said that this attitude might be due to them being too comfortable with their surroundings, although the pandemic continues to spread across the nation.
Perkara ni sangat membimbangkan, especially bila mereka keluar rumah and then jumpa dengan masyarakat sekeliling yang ada virus COVID-19 and then ada peluang dijangkiti and then balik rumah, ada pula anak-anak, isteri dan juga orang tua di rumah.
She encourages the practice of wearing double face mask as recommended by the Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah in increasing personal protection against the invisible threat. We also managed to get public reaction in Johor Bahru regarding the behaviour of some individuals that are still stubborn to wear the face mask properly.
Saya rasa mereka ni kesedaran tentang keselamatan publik tu mereka kurang lah. Jadi saya sarankan agar mereka ni lihat susah payah frontliner tu sendiri, khususnya di pusat-pusat rawatan COVID tu dalam keadaan yang begitu sesak sekarang ni. Dan sampai sekarang ni disebabkan milenium dah banyak isukan dekat Facebook, dekat Instagram pasal keburukan dan kebaikan, dan sekarang ni dia orang boleh buatkan penduduk seluruh negara, seluruh dunia ni dia akan menjadikan semua suspicious. Mana nak pakai, mana yang untuk tak pakai. So kita orang pun sendiri tak tahu mana nak ikut sekarang ni. Itu yang penyebab dia kenapa ramai tak pakai, ramai pakai.
Okey, pendapat saya lah, sebab kebanyakan orang ni dia tak faham kenapa perlu kita menghindari kena patuh SOP, sebab masih ramai yang tak faham kerana benda tu bahaya pada kita, sebab kita memang kita tak nampak, cuma kita kena patuh SOP lah untuk mengelakkan benda tu, gejala-gejala ni merebat lagi teruk.
COVID-19 is our invincible enemy that will strike us if we choose not to take proper measurements to fight it. Therefore, face masks act as a shield for us to prevent the spread of COVID-19 in the community. Arun Zaid reporting for RTM News.
Coming up next, targeted moratorium for SMEs announced. Stay with us. Well, the government will establish a poverty circle with members comprising representatives from the government, private sector, civil community organizations and academics to discuss and formulate the best strategies to tackle poverty, particularly during the COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement today, Minister in the Prime Minister's Department for Economy, Dato' Seri Mustafa Mohamad, said the poverty circle will be administered by the Economic Planning Unit.
Poverty remains a tough nut to crack. It's been there for a long time, and I'm on the ground a lot as a member of parliament, of course. I know how tough things are, especially during this COVID period. And today we are going to discuss two very important subjects. One is, of course, the macro overall position of poverty, and secondly, how we can mobilize or how we can implement the whole of society approach, getting the private sector and NGOs much more involved.
Overall, Dato' Seri Mustafa said Malaysia had attained good progress, especially in addressing poverty and improved the well-being of the people. Based on the Poverty Line Income 2019 methodology, the absolute poverty rate had reduced to 5.6%, covering 405,441 households in 2019, compared with 7.6% in 2016. Now, the minister added that the incidence of poverty was lower for all ethnic groups, with the biggest drop recorded by the Bumiputra community. However, he said there were still poverty and inequality clusters, as well as various poverty dimensions, poverty in a more wider context in the aspects of income and not finances, covering health, education and basic facilities. The Ministry of Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives, MEDAC, and its agencies are offering moratorium and other targeted assistance with an estimated value of 746.79 million ringgit for the small and medium enterprises, or SMEs, to help cushion the impact of the nationwide lockdown order. Now, in a statement released, the ministry said the assistance offered is expected to benefit a total of 734,707 borrowers and tenants of the agencies, which also include micro enterprises as well as informal businesses of those in the B40 category. Well, Entrepreneur Development and Cooperatives Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Wan Junaidi Tuanku Jaafar said the SMEs are among the groups severely affected by MCO 3.0. Well, he said many of these small businesses do not have much savings to fall back on, and because of that, they need all the assistance they can get to survive. Agencies providing the moratorium and targeted assistance are Bank Rakyat, SME Bank, Teku Nasional, SME Corp, Perbadanan Nasional Berhad, Cooperatives Commission of Malaysia and UDA Holdings. The minister further expressed hope that his ministry would be able to assess the situation better and subsequently come up with more targeted assistance and programs that would best suit the SMEs. Well, a total of 27,574 candidates who sat for the Sijil Tinggi Agama Malaysia STAM 2020 examination obtained Mumtaz or excellent grade in all 10 subjects. Education Ministry's Examination Syndicate Director Dato' Paharudin Ghazali said the national average grade or GPN for STAM 2020 was at 3.04. Dato' Paharudin said overall 442 candidates or 7.9% achieved Mumtaz results. Of 1,226 candidates, that's 22%, attained Jayid Jidan or very good. 1,758 candidates or 31.5% received Jayid, which is good, and 230 candidates or 4.1% obtained Makbul or pass grade. He also said that a total of 1,918 candidates or 34.4% were not qualified to receive their certificates. Despite the COVID-19 pandemic, Paharudin said STAM 2020 recorded the highest number of the attendance rate in 4 years, namely at 83.39%. The results can also be obtained via SMS by typing your identity card number and then key in the candidate's STAM examination number and send it to the number on the screen. The Malaysian Tourism Council, or MTC, in cooperation with DHS Hospitality Academy Sendirian Berhad, are offering scholarships worth a total of 1 million ringgit for youths all over the country to further their studies in the hotel and tourism fields. MTC Chairman Uzaidi Udanis said students who have received their SPM results recently are encouraged to apply for the 2 training programs offered through the scholarship. Speaking after a virtual MOU signing ceremony with DHS Director Dr. Sri Kumar Sivakumaran, Uzaidi said the 2 programs are Malaysian Industrial Attachment and Pathway to Global Hospitality, adding that this is an opportune time for SPM school leavers who are interested in the hospitality and tourism industry to apply for the scholarship.
To our youth, to our local communities who wants to pursue their career in tourism and hospitality. I think this is the time for youth who have received their SPM result recently and applied as soon as possible through these programs.
Well, a man was charged at the Johor Bahru Sessions Court today with voluntarily causing grievous injuries to his 3rd wife. On the 4th of May, Rasmi Abdul Rauf, 38, a trader, however, pleaded not guilty after the charge was read before Judge V. Mabel Sheila. Rasmi, who hailed from Kedah, was charged with causing grievous hurt to his wife, Jahida Nordin, by hitting her in the head, face and arms and kicking her in the back. The charge, framed under Section 325 of the Penal Code and read together with Section 326A, carries a maximum jail term of 7 years and fine, or twice the maximum jail term if convicted. Well, the court allowed the accused bail of 7,000 ringgit with 2 sureties and ordered him to report to the nearest police station every month and not to communicate with any witness until the case is solved. 25th July was set for remention. And on 17 May, the media reported that a 43-year-old civil servant in Johor was rushed to the Sultanah Aminah Hospital after she was allegedly hurt by her husband on 4th May. And according to the report, the 4-week pregnant woman had serious injuries to her head apart from suffering a broken back, ribs and jaw. A former Selayang Municipal Council or MPS assistant quantity surveyor was slapped with 2 counts of accepting 5,600 ringgit graft 4 years ago. Tengku Kamarul Arifin Raja Jalil, 42, however, pleaded not guilty to the charges before Sessions Court Judge Rosina Ayub today. Well, he was accused of receiving 5,000 and 600 ringgit respectively from Muhammad Firdaus Saib between 22nd April and 16 August 2017. Well, the money was an inducement for the accused to leak the department's budget quotation for an unspecified tender to Muhammad Firdaus. He was charged under Section 17, subsection A of the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission or MACC Act 2009, which carries a maximum 20 years jail and fine if convicted. Well, Tengku Kamarul also claimed trial to 2 other alternative charges of receiving the same amount without anything in return from the same person at the same place and time. Well, the charge was framed under Section 165 of the Penal Code, which carries 2 years jail or fine or both upon conviction. The court set 10,000 ringgit bail and ordered the accused to report himself at a nearby MACC office once a month and surrender his passport to the court. The court concludes tonight's news at 10. In our top story, upholding King's decree, government to take further action in managing pandemic. Join us again tomorrow for more updates. I'm Muhammad Amin Carlos, and stay tuned to Saluran Berita RTM and have a good night ahead.